Hi, Gopal.
Hello.
How are you enjoying the Arangetram so far?
It's different. It is way more different than going to Detroit to do the Arangetram.
It's
Uh,
true, but we don't sit on
Completely.
the side of the stage. We can actually see them dance now.
Yeah, you can all see. Yeah, that's the best part. I like that. I like that part because I never saw any of the Arangetrams uh,
Except from the
before.
side.
And
Yeah,
this is the front row seats for the Arangetram. So
it's a
hopefully,
benefit.
yeah, it's a benefit. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about today's varnam, and you wrote a new varnam. Can you tell us a little bit about the theme for this varnam?
In short, the essence is Lord Krishna. That is the theme. Um, it basically talks about all the stories, all the most popular stories of Lord Krishna, and starting from him as a baby eating butter through his childhood with his mother, and episodes with his mother, uh, showing his mother the three worlds, to killing Kaliya on the banks of Yamuna, doing the Kalinga Nardhanam, and also getting rid of the arrogance of Indra by lifting the Govardhana mountain. Those are the main stories in the first half, which is as big as the second half. The first half is elaborate. Each line is done many times, so it can do justice to the story, and Avani should be able to depict those stories in detail. And the Muktai Swaram and the Muktai Sahityam, which separates the first half and the second half. Um, that has got all about Krishna, right from his butter days down to him being the reincarnation of Lord Vishnu. And I won't tell you all the details, but it's the longest Muktai Sahityam I've written. One thing I found out that there is not enough space for me to write all the glory of Krishna into this varnam. It's like so many stories are there, and then to put it all in one, it's tough. But I did pack in a lot of them. This is a 40-minute varnam, and a lot of stories are there. A lot of vignettes about Lord Krishna and his stories with where he took part with his best friend Sudama, with Radha, with the gopis, with Kauravas, with the Pandavas, how he influenced the Kauravas, um, um, and how he helped the Pandavas to defeat the Kauravas in many aspects. He rode the chariot in the war, and then gave us the most important part we all cherish till date, the Bhagavad Gita. So
Mhm.
it has all this information in different parts. The second half is more descriptive with all the little stories that we all know about. And the first half is more about his childhood days as he grew up, and then what all he did in Vrindavan, what all he did in Gokulam, all those things. And all these things are packed into a 40-minute Bharnam. It's all about Krishna, start to end. And he's a cowherd boy we are going to talk about as a boy, and then how he is the leader of the world. He's a Jagannatha to all of us, and he shows us the way to lead our life with this Bhagavad Gita.
This is the first time you're premiering an EDM composed varnam, like it was composed for and in electronic digital music. So after Origins, did you have new equipment? Was there something different you did to actually pull this varnam together? And did you have to make any changes or do anything that mom needed for it to be more traditional, or were you given freedom to explore what you could with the music?
Actually, the EDM started with Origins, like you said, but I had used Logic music production software at that time. This is like 5 years back, and it is still very popular. But this time, I wanted to add a lot of background music in the form of electronic digital music, which is not traditional. Logic was not traditional. Um, This continues to be non-traditional. EDM part of it is also non-traditional to Carnatic music or Bharatanatyam based music. And I think it is more friendlier to today's public, to the youngsters, and we can blend in. We can fuse both Indian classical, Carnatic music, dance to this kind of music. Also, it's an experiment, but I think it comes out good in this varnam. Um, in the past, I did not use equipments per se. Everything is software nowadays. So the EDM is produced with native instruments. This is a company in Germany that makes this software and hardware called Machine. It's spelled Maschine, and that's like a groove box to the current contemporary musicians. It's like a groove box. We can make music. We can put beats in it. We can put music in it, and then string them all together for the entire duration of the varnam. That's what I did. So 40 minutes of music, start to the end, all did with EDM, with the
I
machine.
heard I heard you got to know the folks in Germany from the Machine Company because you pushed the limits of what
I,
Machine
I
could handle.
I did, yeah. They said there you have too many music going on in one song. Why is the song 40 minutes? And I couldn't explain that. I do not want to split the song into small pieces. I want the 40-minute song. He said, I think I did break their limit. It sounds like, because they did not give me an alternative, but I had to work with my way of doing things to get this done with a single piece of 40-minute item. And yeah, the machine was really good for the background music itself, and for the recording part, I recorded it in GarageBand, and it's simple at the same time elegant. It does the job, and did in the house itself, and it it's got the elements of good sounds in it, along with the background. And Auntie had asked for the whatever I'm singing, the swarams I'm singing, or the sahityam, the words I'm singing. She wanted background music to accompany me as I meander through the swarams of this ragam, and which I did for different pieces together. And the rhythm is also Western rhythm. There is no Indian instrument in this one except the kinnaram, the bells that you did for the whole varnam.
These,
Start
and
with.
actually, I'm sitting exactly where I recorded them too.
It
So
sounded good, and then it blended in really well, and then that gives the actual authenticity of a Bharatanatyam recital with the musicians sitting by the side and singing.
it's not that different from what happened in the past in India also, because Carnatic music adopted the violin from Europe and the harmonium, which had actually, it was played holding it in the beginning when France introduced it to India. And they got to know that their customers in India would want to sit down. So they actually reframed the harmonium so people could sit down and play the bellow from behind.
Yeah.
So that was interesting to learn that, so many accommodations have happened because music is international, and music spans time and things change and move. So it's lovely to see that we're continuing to do that. What do you think you did differently this time than previous varnams that you've written? Because you've written a lot of varnams that we've danced to and performed to in Tandav and in Arangetrams.
Yeah, the most biggest difference, I think, is in the past, as you know, we have done varnams on Sita Rama Hanuman Varnam on the Bible, and the whole Shiv Parivar with Shiva, on Parvati Devi, Ganesha, and Kartikeya. We've done all those Varnams in Tandavs, but we didn't find a good spot, comfortable spot to present Krishna Varnam. I was thinking maybe one of the Janmashtamis we will do that. And then COVID came in the middle and then messed it all up for all of us in different situations. And I would blame this on COVID. But in spite of that, we emerged from COVID, and we are emerging from COVID actually. And we were able to present this Varnam. The thing that was different is Krishna itself is like it's an encyclopedia of information that one can write on. I can only do as much justice I know how to do. So the stories are limited, but most of the important stories are there. So again, researched all the stories, the details, and about the stories have been presented in the varnam. And the raagam of the varnam um, is also happened in a particular way. I think you have a question. You wanted to ask me that.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the ragam because there's something very special about it.
Yeah. So in the beginning, when Auntie said we should write a Krishna varnam for Avani, Avani is the Avani is the dancer that is performing today. So and we picked and put her name in the varnam. Avani is in the first pallavi of the varnam, and Avani and Aayan. Avani is also in Tamil. It also means the world. He is the leader of the world. He's a Jagannatha. That's what I'm referring to Lord Krishna as. But it also is her name, Avani. And then when we were talking about what ragam to pick for this one, and then you said that Brindavani would be a good ragam because it's Brindavan and it will work with the Krishna theme. And that was a challenge because usually they choose a Gana ragam, which is Sampurna ragam of all 7 notes, so that we have enough maneuverability in the ragam to actually do justice to varnam kind of heavy item. So Brindavani was a challenge at the beginning. I did familiarize myself with the ragams, the intricacies, and how all can it be used. And then somewhere down the line, I figured when I was typing all the information with the notations and ragam name, and then Brindavani also has Brinda Avani.
Avani.
This was not pre-calculated at all. We did not plan to do this one. It so happened that the Brindavani ragam had Avani in it also, so it was meant to be. It was meant to be. And
yeah, there's something very special about Avani's engagement because I think all of us couldn't resist contributing to working on this at engagement, and I think Krishna brought us all together. I think this varnam needed to happen. Question about your favorite part. I know what my favorite part is. I've watched a few of the rehearsals and I've helped Avani with some of it. So I know my favorite part. What is your favorite part in the varnam?
Actually, I do have favorite parts. It's not that other parts are not favorite, but favorite parts are.
I think maybe you want the audience to pay attention to because it's special.
The Muktai Sahityam has all the information about Krishna. I called when I was documenting this one. I was called different things, different sections. What the content is. Basically, this is what all you needed to know about Krishna is the Muktai Sahityam, which is elaborate and descriptive, and from a baby to the reincarnation of the Lord Vishnu is everything is mentioned in single liners or phrases in the Muktai Sahityam. That is one of them. And in the Charanam Chittasuram, the Chitta Sahityam, I like the way this sounds. The Yadavar Kulam. This is Yadavar Kulam Tarekeve. This is about Kamsan, him slaying, Lord Krishna slaying Kamsa. That episode, that the way it sounds, it came out. It sounds really good. The tune, the melody sounds really good.
I actually love that part too because Avani plays the role of Kamsa for a minute. She shows the people being very, having to deal with suffering. And then she shows Kamsa just laughing at it like an asura, even though he was a king. And Krishna looks at him and gets really mad and walks up to him and just like pushes him down and punches him and destroys him. And I just love how she does that part. So I agree with you. That's a really fun part.
Right. And that is the tune-wise, melody-wise, that sounds really good. And I know the choreography is amazing for the Kamsa part. The one other thing I really like for the words, for the lyrical part, is Lord Krishna was making sure that the Kauravas did not force themselves on the Pandavas, in particular in particular the episode with Draupadi,
Mm.
Draupadi, where he restored her modesty. Um, that part came out really good, and there was a slight confusion I had what to call Draupadi as it applied to Lord Krishna. And
Right.
then,
How did Krishna see
yeah,
Draupadi?
he was not as. At first, I called Draupadi as his sister. And then did some research, and it was not a sister brother relationship at all throughout.
Yeah,
It was-
I think we talked about this because I was watching Dharmakshetra on Netflix, which was at around the same time when you were working on that part. And we talked about how basically Draupadi and Krishna were besties. They were best friends from childhood. And he just wanted to protect his best friend. And it was just beautiful that you refer to her as Sakhi
yeah,
for
Sakhi
Krishna.
Draupadi. Yeah.
Krishna is Sakhi, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Beautiful.
There was a friendly relationship between the two.
Mhm.
That got rid of my confusion because that was the right thing to say at the time.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I'm inspired by you and by this varNam and by Avani, and I've decided that my Christmas tree decoration this year is going to be peacock. So I'm excited. I got my theme from this varNam.
yeah, I think that's why I wore this also. It was like close to the top part. And
It's just so beautiful.
yeah.
Last question. How long did it?
Thing I wanted to say was I think we discussed this one because I did not include Radha as in any of the episodes. I had in one of the Chitta Sahityams I had included gopis, but I did not specifically include Radha. But I could not have done justice to the whole story if Radha was not part of an episode. So I actually replaced gopis with Radha and also moved the gopis. Gopis also were a very important part in his life in the Ras Leela part. So gopis and Radha are there. Yeah, they are there.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Seneca Krishna got to watch a lot of the beginnings of this varNam come together, and I know Seneca Krishna is probably very happy. How long did it take you to do the whole thing?
I think the lyrical part took me a week, maybe a week or 10 days, just the lyrics part, and then tuning to Brindavani took a little bit longer. But the most strenuous part was the recording the music, and then recording my voice on it, and then recording and making sure as much as I can to make it perfect for Krishna. I wanted to make it, so I did several takes on the recording, vocals also, and vocals and the music. So I want to say roughly in hours, I want to say probably 150 hours.
Yeah,
Close
yeah,
to
I like that.
that.
I think I spent.
I enjoyed the whole thing. There is no.
Oh, it was beautiful. It was great fun, and it was really fun working with you again as well. I think I spent a week or so on Granatum work, just making sure that it matches up right, and practicing with Avani's video, and making sure that I can match her steps through the whole thing, and then we had to like go back and edit several times to make sure that it matches exactly, and I had to redo some portions. So it was a really pleasurable dedication, I could say.
Yeah.
So and Mom's happy with it, I think. So let's see how Avani does today in her engagement with this beautiful varNam Aayan Maayan in Brindavani raagam. Thank you so much.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Radhe Krishna.
Radhe Krishna.